Hi YouTube, Unkert here. In this video, I want to talk about generators in Python. So generators can iterate through values very quickly, and one of the built-in generators in Python is the range function. But we're going to create our own generator here. So one thing I thought would be cool is to create a generator to determine saddle height based off a max degree that you pass in. So what I'll be able to do is I'll be able to go through each of these values and say I want to drop my saddle height by a degree, which is a way that certain cyclists will measure their saddle height. Well, I can do it with Python. Now, do you need a generator for this? No. Is it probably faster to do it without a generator? Yes. But I think when you're learning Python, one of the cool things you can do is just immerse yourself within Python. So we're going to do that. So I'm going to say while degree is less than or equal to max degree. And what you should be doing while we're doing this is you should pick something that you want to iterate through and code it up in Python. Anyways, so what we're going to do in a generator is we have this keyword called yield. And what we can do is we can yield pretty much anything. I'm going to do 75.7 minus the degree here times 0.3 because I'm thinking as I drop my saddle height 3 millimeters or 3/10 of a centimeter, it changes by a degree. That's my hypothesis, okay? And then at the end of this, I'm just going to increment degree by 1, okay? So now I've got my function for my generator, okay? And what I can do is I can now set a variable equal to that function passing in a max degree. So I can say saddle measurement equals saddle height. Let's do a max up to 10. Okay. And now to get each of these values, you can do print next and then saddle measurement. Okay. So if I build this, and let me move this up here. Okay, well, I actually, yeah, I put a colon here, so I shouldn't be doing that. All right, let's try this again. Okay, so if I build this, I get 75, okay? And I get 75 because I think I didn't pass in a parameter. Yeah, I didn't pass in a parameter for rounding. I want to round to 1 decimal place, so let's do that again. And I get 75.4, which makes sense if you take 3 millimeters off this 75.7. Now, the interesting thing about a generator is that if I duplicate this line, it's going to remember, it's not going to give me the same measurement. It's going to remember the state it was in. Okay, so I can do that. Now it's 75.1. Okay, and let's duplicate this a bunch more times and run it. And we get down to 73.3. So we got 3, 6, 7, 8. Let's do a couple more. And we get down to 72.7. Let's duplicate it one more time. So now we're at 11. And let's build it. And you'll notice we get an error, which is a stop iteration error. Okay, so you'll see that'll happen in a range. You get the stop iteration, but they handle it with an exception. So yeah, you can go as many times as you put this max measurement in, and it keeps track of the state as you go through it, which is pretty cool. Okay, so that was, saddle height. But let's say you wanted to calculate a bigger amount of numbers and maybe pass in a function. So let's get rid of all this stuff here. And let's create a function called cubeNum. And it's going to take in a number, and it's just going to return the number times the number times the number, right? It's cubing the number, okay? Easy enough. And let's create a generator. So I'm going to just call this my generator. And we're going to take in a maxNum and a function, okay? And then what we're going to do is we're going to say I equals 1. And I'm going to say while I is less than or equal to maxNum, what I want you to do is yield the function taking in I. And then I'm going to increment I up. I'm going to say I equals I plus 1, okay? And what I can do now is I can create a for loop. So I could say for item in my generator and then pass in some large value like 1000 and a function cubeNum. And then I could do something like I could print the item. Okay, and now if I build this, Well, look at that. Look at how fast it finished in 60 milliseconds. So that went through 1,000 values and cubed them in 60 milliseconds. And that's one of the huge advantages of using generators is, well, one is the performance, but also it doesn't take up memory because it just puts out a value and then discards it. So it's not building in memory. So let's increase this even more. Let's do 1,000,000 iterations. Okay, and we see it's running. Okay, it's taking a little bit longer for 1,000,000 iterations because it is multiplying each number by each number. And it's still going. Maybe I'll cut a little bit of this out. We'll see. Okay, but it finished in, I'll leave it in. It finished in 21.7 seconds for 1,000,000 iterations to multiply a number times a number times a number. And this is on my Walmart Chromebook that I'm running this. So it's not exactly fast. So one advantage is performance, but the other advantage, a big advantage, is the memory. Okay. All right. So yeah, that's generators, a little intro into generators. I hope you found this video interesting. If you did, could you give it a like and subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching.